Hey everybody, good morning. It is Saturday, the 1st of September, Labor Day weekend. Oh yeah, it's good. 6:51 in the morning. Yeah, you're probably surprised by that time, huh? Well, the truth is, I was tired yesterday, folks. I stayed up late the other night, and I stayed up most of the day yesterday because of my nephew. And as soon as my mom got home and just, rested a little bit and did her own things, I rested myself for about an hour or two. And then we went to go get Subway, and after that, relaxed and went to bed around 1, and I was asleep. I was gone, folks. I was done for the night. Last night I also, before I went to bed, printed out several papers, both positive and negative feedback from fans, if you will, when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog and the franchise, especially Ian Flynn. Some are only one page, some are about a few pages, you name it, that's what they are. Like I said, some are one page, some are two, some are even 5. One is about 5, which is the longest, and I'll get into that later. But the first one I'm going to read, if I can do that, is by somebody that I've recently come to know here on Facebook, got to know on DeviantArt as well as on Facebook. Very talented. He's a very talented artist, and he just recently graduated out of high school last year. So, yeah, he's younger than me. He's younger than me. Let's just put it this way: he's about 12 years younger than me in age, possibly. Well, 12 years younger when it comes to graduation. So, what he wrote, or what he typed up, is right here. It's about 2 pages, so let me put the rest down to the side here. And the title says it up there. He says in his journal, or his text, his journal entry, which he did yesterday, actually midnight, according to this, at midnight yesterday, which would have been 12:36 a.m. Yesterday. The title of his journal is up there, and again I'll put the link down below. But it's Ian Flynn likes, and he capitalizes likes, SatAM. And I got something in here later on that's going to counter that if I ever get to it, and that's going to blow your mind as well. But this is what DarthOmniShadow said about this. This is DarthOmniShadow. I'm not lying. I'm not lying, folks. This is DarthOmniShadow, I believe. So, again, I'll provide the link down below for you guys to check that out if you want to. But this is what he says in his journal entry entitled Ian Flynn Likes SatAM. And this is what he says, and I quote, I'm sorry, but I just need to vent. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking to debate anything. I just need to clear up a few things and get some things off my chest too. I'd hate to get involved with more Sonic fan drama, but recently a bunch of SatAM fans spreading rumors and slander ended that the writer... Okay, wait. It says, I hate to get involved with more Sonic fan drama, but recently a bunch of SatAM fans spreading rumors and slander that the writer of the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comic that Ian hates SatAM just because he referred to it as an old, dead show. And as much as I like SatAM, it is dead and over with. He put that in quotations. Unfortunately, he was just telling the truth. He wasn't quotation bashing it. You all are being too sensitive. Well, Darth, with all due respect, it may be in reruns, but it is coming back, from what I understand, from what it seems, on the 1st of October. Now, if it's adventures and they just put SatAM instead, that's a different story. But if you watch the video, you'll probably see what I mean. Alright. Here's the said comment. And he actually provided a link. I didn't get the comment, but he provided a link to Ian Flynn's comment about that. You know, okay, continuing on. I quote, "You know, let me take a moment to assure you people, I know from my experiences with Ian and his message board that, in bold capitalism, this is not true. Ian is a SatAM fan too. You're attacking one of your own," and he puts your own in quotations. If Ian, and he puts this in quotations, hates SatAM, then capitalized, why does he use the SatAM characters so frequently in the book in the past 6 years of him writing it? Why does he make references and quotes to it, like the famous margarine joke? Put that in parentheses. In, capitalizes in, the book. And on his message board. Also, it was partially capitalized, his idea that they put SatAM exclusive characters into the upcoming Sonic, and he puts this in quotations, Sonic Encyclopedia book. Excuse me. Such as the Kraken and such, assuming if it's okay with Sega. He put the such as the Kraken and such, assuming if it's okay with Sega. He put that in parentheses. Also, why did he come out with the big? Why did he come out with the egg SWAT robots? Put the egg SWAT in quotations, which are basically reinvented SWAT bots. If he hates SatAM so much, or makes obscure references, like have Nicole make a floating camera bot, that looks a lot like the ones used in the show. Oh, like the ones Robotnik used to use in the show. It's like people do bold capitalism, no research, when they make these slanderous stamps and divitations about Ian. They, bold capitalists, jump, bold, to conclusions constantly and spaz out over trivial things. Ian said he likes SatAM, and I'll take capital his word over a bunch of whiny, basement-dwelling, nerdy, furry, Sonic fan turds who don't even know the poor guy and constantly spread slander and even downright capitalist lies and misconceptions about him and the events in the comic. That's not all though. I also been getting trolled by a few diehard SatAM fans for my newest stamp, parentheses, which I knew would eventually happen. That stated, I like the comics better than SatAM, parentheses, yet I still love SatAM. It's called an opinion. I'm allowed to have one. It's called an opinion. I'm allowed to have one. Just like you guys are allowed to dislike the comic. I don't care if you hate the comic, bold print, or bold typing. That's fine. You're allowed to dislike it. In fact, capitalists, I used to be a parentheses, hater 2. What I don't like is some people spreading slander or attacking its fans when they act like they, capitalist, hardly know anything about the series or Ian. One anti-Archie Sonic guy dissed/linked back to my quotation another pro-Archie Sonic stamp, parentheses, I won't say his name, on one of his own negative anti-Archie Ian stamps. Excuse me for a second. Get my dog away from the cat here. Okay. In stamps. And the pathetic thing is he recently blocked me from his page after I rebutted some of his ridiculous claims about Ian and the comic. Parentheses, I never get any responses from the coward. See. And now he's passively aggressively attacking me behind my back, but won't say anything to my face. Though honestly I don't give a shit what some teenager turd thinks of me. I'm sorry, but just because somebody disagrees with you doesn't mean they're attacking you personally. Just because somebody voices a difference of opinion or something doesn't give you a right to block them unless they're harassing you or cussing you out constantly or something. It makes you look like a coward when you block somebody for no reason other than they don't agree with you. So what I'm trying to say is, and he capitalizes this, it's an all ages/kids comic, you haters. You haters are obsessing over it way more than the quotation fans. You demonize as ever did, Ed. Why are you dedicating so much time and effort into hating it, attacking the people who make it, and even its fans? Sonic is not life. SatAM is not life. Grow up. And he puts those last three lines in bold, capital. All you guys are doing is making Sonic SatAM fans look bad when you attack others for having different opinions or attacking the people who make the comic. This isn't going to get SatAM a third season by acting insane about recent controversial events in the comic and being overly protective of a bunch of fictional animals who will likely be perfectly alright since once the things going on in the comic now will be resolved. I don't like everything Sonic related either. I don't like Sonic and the Secret Rings, for instance. You don't see me making tons of hate stamps, hate art, hate clubs, and such dedicated to it. Heck, I used to think Sonic SatAM fans were the most, capitalized, most mature and nicest of the Sonic fan base. Now I know I was wrong. I'm sorry to say, don't get me wrong. Some SatAM fans are awesome, but some SatAM purists are no better than the game purists, who complain about the cartoons or comics for not being 100% like the games. Everything doesn't need to emulate SatAM 100% either. This is why I haven't been doing much Sonic fan art lately. Don't worry, I still draw Sonic characters occasionally and stuff, but with crap like this happening, it's almost making me embarrassed to be a Sonic fan. I'm actually starting to get embarrassed to even draw certain characters in the first place now. So please, ease up, guys. Well, he still does draw them. He's like I say, he's a great artist. He has been doing what he calls the metal series right now, and he's got a few requests that people like myself have asked him to do. But right now, he's currently working on the metal series. And I can tell you this, if this guy was to apply, just like Trunks, whatever the rest of his DeviantArt name is, if he was to apply for a job at Archie Comics as an artist, he'd probably get the opportunity right then and there. Because that's how good this guy is. But again, this is just his opinion on what on what he feels, how he feels. Basically, I agree with him in many ways. It's like, just because, I mean, I've come out and I've admitted, one of the things I don't like about the comic right now is what's happened to Sally. I'm questionable, I'm not too sure about Antoine, and I'm kind of questionable about Bunny. But you see, I've read comics for a long time. I've read comics for many, many years. And let me explain something. Comics don't always end up bad in the end. Let me give you an example, if I can. Oh, here we go. It may not be the best example. Some of it's shaking there. But let's take a look at this. X-Men, Phoenix, huh? And I'll provide a link to a video that Zero Nizarak responded to me to. But basically, when Jean Grey did the Phoenix deal, depending on what kind of incarnation you look at, she either died at the end, sacrificing herself for her friends. She either was put out of the way. Basically, from one of the examples Zero Nizarak gave me was in an X Factor situation, she was put in a cocoon at the bottom of the ocean so she wouldn't be in the way, so she wouldn't get hurt. And the Phoenix basically assumed her identity. So you kind of get what I'm trying to say, right? Either way, she lived through it. I mean, take a look at the cartoon back in the 90s. The third season, when they did the Phoenix Saga there. I'll be the first to admit, I knew of the Phoenix Saga, and I knew that one of the stories, or one of the main versions about it, had her die as the Phoenix, and that was it. And well, she did come back as Dark Phoenix, but then die again or something like that. But I never but when I saw that entire Phoenix Saga, I thought they had killed Jean off for the rest of the series, to be honest with you. And when they brought her back and did the Dark Phoenix deal, I thought, okay, they're going to probably have her get killed off again. And they did kill her, but they brought her back. Yeah, it was a Deluxe Ex Machina in the because it was a cartoon, but still, they brought her back. You see, as long as it sort of makes sense, and the way they revived her in the final part of the Dark Phoenix Saga, kind of makes sense. But again, it's exactly what Zero Nizarak said. It's basically what it is, and I think DarthOmniShadow would agree. It's a big shift. It's a big shift for a lot of us. Like I said, I'm not used to seeing this character here roboticized for as long as she has. I mean, I could go for maybe 2, 3, 4 issues, maybe 6 issues at least, but not as long as she's been going. And when you add in Sonic Universe, it kind of doubles that. But again, I'm a SatAM fan, don't get me wrong. I've always been a SatAM fan. And I do understand, where DarthOmniShadow is coming from. It's like, look, just because certain things are happening in the comic doesn't mean someone like Ian Flynn hates the show. What Ian Flynn is doing is exactly what writers before him had done. In some ways. He's trying to differentiate. He's trying to make it its own series. So like, let's say a cartoon studio someday picks it up and says, hey, let's turn the Archie Sonic comic book series and franchise into a cartoon series. You would have all your characters. You would have Sally. You would have Bunny, but back in animated form. But you would also have them back in animated form standing next to the likes of Amy Rose, Knuckles the Echidna, Cream, Blaze, Shadow, and the list goes on. I mean, you'd basically be having characters, like I say, like Sally, Bunny, Rhoda, and Antoine, and even Dulcie, standing along characters like above there on that poster. Which I don't know if you could see or not. But basically, stand alongside the likes of, let's say, Blaze, Shadow, Silver, Amy, Knuckles, the Chaotix. You'd be having them stand alongside them. And that's something that fans would be happy about, whether they like to admit it or not. So, to be honest, yeah, new episodes and season-wise, yeah, SatAM is kind of on the, I'm not going to say dead, but I'm going to say on the shelf as it speaks. Because if it was dead, it wouldn't be getting the reruns that it's going to probably be getting on the first, which we're not totally 100% sure yet. But it is going to get something on the first very, very soon. And again, like I said, we don't know if it's SatAM or if it's Adventures, but if it says starts October 1st, and that's kind of some good news. But we'll see and find out then. But that's all I'm going to say about this right now. I mean, quite honestly, you know, I agree some people need to just not get too overly obsessive. Okay? You know, like I say, I'm a fan. I know DarthOmniShadow's a fan. I know everybody's a fan. But you don't see people going crazy. It's just mainly the fact that it's just like Zero Nizarak told me. It's a major shift that's really caught us off guard. You know, because basically Ian Flynn took a character like Sally, roboticized her, weaponized her, and now it's basically a dramatic shift to where we're always going to keep guessing, alright, if she does get restored, how's that going to happen? How is she going to get her body back? How is she going to look? I mean, a lot of fans, like Trunks, whatever his name is, and I know DarthOmniShadow is probably even thinking of drawing one, kind of have drawn her of what she would look like after she's restored with an outfit similar to what she has right now as Mecha Sally. But again, it's all basically a huge shift, and that is why, in my opinion, you have a lot of SatAM fans, especially true SatAM fans as they like to call themselves, and purists, that are not too happy with Ian right now because it's a huge change. They didn't expect him to go this far. And they most importantly probably don't expect to have to wait another year or so for it to be resolved if that's the case. So, but that's just DarthOmniShadow's Ian likes SatAM journals and opinions about what's going on. And it's just my response to it, me reading it off, so those here at YouTube and wherever can give their own opinions. But also the fact that, you know, he does have a point. You know, he does have a point, and the reason, and in my opinion, Darth, and I think you can admit to this because I'll provide the link below, Zero Nizarak was correct. It's basically a major shift for a lot of fans. So that's all I'm going to say. Comment and video response down below. Sorry this went longer than it should. And I'm out.